Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm. Thinking right out here, my lab, and I'm in the book. I got a quick lesson. I couldn't wait to get this one in. We're gonna talk about the Declaration of Independence. Did you know that 50 out of 56 signers of that Declaration were Masons? Let's talk about it. Rightism, let's go. 25 rules to live by. Storyteller, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You well when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to might not be true. I feel like I'm in Black History Month because this is our history. I'm just breaking it down for you this time of year. I don't give a damn. It's good information. Right thinkers, let's talk about the Declaration of Independence. And did you know 50 out of 56 of them was Masons? Little information, a little tidbit. I'm just dropping a little bit, page and a half of information. Let's go. The Declaration of Independence, which was adopted by the Second Continental Congress of July 4th, 1776, independence. Okay. It led to the establishment of the United States of White America. The Declaration was written by Thomas Jefferson and was a sweeping indictment of King George, the British Parliament, and its people. This document embodied the true democratic spirit of white America and the principles for which the founding fathers stood and fought. 50 of the 56 signers of the Declaration were active members of the various Masonic organizations. Masons was running the world, symbolically or metaphorically, how you want to do it. But the question was, never mind what they was they doing a good job? Okay, let's go. That's what I'm trying to show you. Y'all was still racist and prejudiced back then. Ain't nothing changed. It's been suggested by William A. Brown, a former curator and overseer of the library and the archives of the George Washington Masonic Memorial in Alexandria, Virginia. I've been there. Okay. And I got face to face with racist ass Masons. Pissed me off. I'm all amped up, I'm all excited, and this cracker, disrespectfully. You don't know nothing about that. I know just as much as you do. Again, from experience, again, I only speak from that. But yeah, I had my encounter with them even at that level. So it didn't change, okay? That what? The Declaration of Independence was a Masonic document. Okay. Brown stated that the sentence structure of the Declaration of Independence is unmistakable proof of its Masonic nature. Hell, if 56 of us here and 50 of us Masons, that six ain't gonna make a difference. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. Simple. Moving on. That's what they showing you. That's what they, indirectly showing you. So I'm trying to open certain things up for you. Hope you see it the same way and understand it for what it is. The truth, what's going on. All right, here we go. Esoteric teachings. And it's been suggested. Okay. Now, while I'm not saying that the text was written in what they call secret code, everything is written in code, esoteric teachings, okay? Or it's embodied with a hidden agenda. Brown did comment that Declaration of Independence, the rights of man, was document adopted by the French National Assembly on August 27, 1789, during a French Revolution. Remember that? And set forth the principles of human liberty, upper and lower, okay? Those who have and the have nots, and personal rights. It declared that all people were free and equal in liberty, property, and security, and resistance to opposition. Oppression. The writers of the Declaration were greatly influenced by the United States Declaration of Independence and what they call the Bill of Rights. They were telling or structuring everything pretty much the way they liked it. Okay, I showed you the picture of the last lesson, but just where we at right now. This is him saying goodbye. You see money over there, yeah. We got Egyptian influence on everything. So let's talk about this right now. The Constitution. I'm gonna wrap it up. The Constitution of the United States was signed on September 17, 1787, and you had 13 of the 40 signees of the document were Freemasons. So they went to a broader spectrum where they got a little more different conscious people involved, but everybody wasn't a Mason. That's what I'm trying to say. So 13 out of 40, okay, but 50 out of 56, they are Masons. All right. But now, throughout the early development of the United States, 4 of her first 5 presidents was what? Freemasons. And of the 41 men who have been elected president, 16 have been documented as what? Members of the craft, and 4 others were questionable. A lot of Masonic presidents, they who think to be running the world, if they got the right understanding right, they'll be backed by the craft, and they pretty much get in there and do what they need to do. But their intentions are never good for the people. So it never helps us. But it can be said that a number of factors that contributed to the colonists to defeat the British, the rebels had the what? Home field advantage. As I said, I'm not going to somebody else's backyard to fight them. I'm not going to war over something. No. When they come here, I'll count me in. Well, I'm not going in their backyard, but they come in mine. I'm fighting. They're going to be damned. Count me in. You got to worry about that. See, that's my problem. And I don't want you to send me somewhere where I'm just going to die because somebody thought it was a good idea to go over and do that nonsense. I ain't with that. And watch this, because they had the advantage, they fought with what they call guerrilla warfare tactics. Like the Vietnamese. We went to Vietnam, we didn't beat them. They gave us hell. Japanese, we didn't beat them. They gave us hell too. But we wanted to call it a win, a victory. All right. So there was also a great distance that created by what? The damn ocean. The Atlantic Ocean, which separated America from Britain. You way over there. What the hell? I wish you would come over here with that nonsense. So that's how they broke that nonsense. Okay. But usually the conquering person, he go back to his homeland and run stuff over here. We wasn't going for it. That's all. And watch this. While King George was fighting the colonists, all right, he had his hand full. Why? Because he's also engaged in separate conflicts with who? The Spanish and the Germans. See? So he had to make a decision. Man, okay, damn America. Okay, let it go. Okay, so that's how we got independent for that. Okay? Not that, no, he way over there on the other side of the damn ocean. Where with the Greeks and the Romans, they was pretty close to Egypt. So they can run it and still come and go as they please. But the whole ocean was really, no, it ain't gonna work. All right. But all these factors also help to determine the final outcome of the war. Many Masons also strongly believed that it was the Masonic rituals and the initiation of the brotherhood which helped to create that mental and spiritual bond of emotion amongst what the troops. Brotherhood, right, yeah, which aided them when, during their darkest days of the war, we fought back to back. Why? I'm protecting my buddy Six. He protected mine. I understand the concept, and that was a good philosophy. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm gonna give you a little quick breakdown. I got a nice little time. Let's talk about this. You see the money on the page. I'll show you this. Okay. Now this is the American money. This is an Egyptian concept, and we know this is an Egyptian concept. Why is it on American money? Let's talk about it right quick. Let me get halfway through this lesson, I guess. All right. But what happened when I just show you the money? And people, they can show you how the Masons direct influence the money. The Nile Valley origins of the Great Seal of the United States. Money. We have already discussed in previous chapters what the role that the Nile Valley played in the development of religious thought and oil secret societies out of Europe, and we have also briefly surveyed the role of the Masonry in the American Revolutionary War and the establishment of what the United States. So let us now investigate a little deeper into what the relationship between the Nile Valley and the Great Seal of the United States. See, this to me is history. This is good information. Let's go. The first Great Seals appeared in 7th century Europe and was used exclusively by royalty. The term Great Seal emerged in the 13th century. It was used to make a distinction between privy or less seals, which were used by who? Royalty for personal or business affairs. Over the years, Great Seal have come to represent the heart and soul of the nation. The United States followed in the tradition of its British ancestors. Remember, they was running things from there, okay? They're supposed to be sending all their bad people here. That's the story. But the United States followed their tradition and decided to create their own Great Seal for her new nation. They're about to break a loose from the Brits, and thus incorporated into its design elements of masonry, numerology, and Egyptian symbolism. Right there. They knew what they was doing. So it ain't a big secret. Oh, I know this, I know. Yeah, they had their purpose. It's all symbolic. It's all symbolic and symbolism. They tell you that. So let's go. So the committee was formed to create a Great Seal on July 4th, 1776. Its members consisted, you ready? This is a list of who's who. Benjamin Franklin, Kite Man, electricity, okay? Thomas Jefferson, first signer. John Adams, when he president, and a Frenchman named Pierre Drouin Cimetière was hired as a consultant, and he is credited with what? Introducing the shield, the El Plumos Unum, the Roman numerals MDCCLXXV1, 1776. Man, just say 1776. I'm so glad we had to use them damn Roman numerals. That's a pain in my ass. I ain't never liked them damn things. You get past 5, I'm done with them. Especially 10. All right, but moving on. How we at? Numbers, letters. Come on, man. Just put it down there. 776. And then you had the I within the triangle. That's not the eye of Heru. That's called the eye of providence. Understand the difference. The final design submitted by the committee was rejected. Why? And a second committee was formed in January 1777. Francis Hopkinson served as the design consultant for this group, and he proposed the pyramid instead of what my man did, an olive branch and a radiant constellation of 13 stars for the colonies back then. No favorable action was taken on these designs, and then now a third Committee was formed 5 years later. So now we at 1782. Okay, so the third and final committee met on May the 4th, 1782. Okay, and Secretary of Congress Charles Thompson at that time appointed William Barton as chief artistic consultant. He's gonna have the last say. So these two men borrowed and modified the ideas from the two previous committees and finalized the design that ultimately graced the obverse, what they call it, and the reverse, the face side, the tail side, heads and tails. But one is obverse and one is reverse, front and back, of the official Great Seal, right? So slight modifications were made on the front, aka obverse. I love this, of the Great Seal. That was done in 1885. And when a new die was cut, and the emblem has remained unchanged since. The reverse of the Great Seal was not used publicly until 1934. Did you know that? And Henry Wallace, Secretary of Agriculture and your former Vice President, submitted a proposal recommending that both sides of the Great Seal be used on a coin. While researching his suggestions, Wallace saw a similarity between the Latin phrase novus ordo seclorum, that means new order of ages, or formerly known as New World Order. Okay, and the New Deal of the ages. Yeah, but New World Order, which was then in 1933. This ain't been long, being implemented by the President Roosevelt. Okay, we all know him. Roosevelt was so impressed with the correlation that he decided to use both sides of the Great Seal on the dollar bill instead of the coins. There we have it. Wallace and Roosevelt were both Masons and shared a found appreciation and an understanding of what symbolism and the significance of the pyramid and the eye above it in a Great Seal reverse. You see here? These are all symbols. This the radiant sign, 13 stars. This the American eagle, the 13 talons, the 13 spears with the above his head. This is the Egyptian Haru, okay, the falcon head with the sun disc. He got the life shin, eternity, okay. He got life in his talons, okay. Over here you see the pyramid. The beginning, they not finished. It's unfinished business. But they're saying that God is pleased with the work they putting in. The eye of providence is business. Here you see the pyramid again. One solid. But there's the eye Haru. That's my eye right there. That's what I rock. Okay. So they know the symbolism. They understand it. Okay. I ain't the only one who get it. So let me wrap it up with this one. The officials' dies for the Great Seal are in permanent exhibition in the Department of State Buildings in Washington, D.C. The conventional description of the seal is as follows. The obverse bears the sign used on official documents, the American eagle with the echelon of his shield and its breast symbolizes self-reliance. Everything is symbolic. And you got the 13 vertical stripes on the echelon that come from the flag of 1777. Your chief above the stripes is 1782, symbolizes Congress, but since 1789, it has represented all branches of the United States government. Okay, but the eagle holds an olive branch of 13 leaves and 13 olives in its right talon and 13 arrows in his left, meaning what? It faces the olive branch is symbolized a desire for peace. That's the olive branch. In Egyptian, we use the shin and the ankh, eternal life. That's what it represents. Y'all bring the olive branch for peace, but you also bring them spears. Why? Because they always prepare for war. Okay? It is, in its beak and a scroll inscribed El Plumas Unum, which translate into what? One nation, out of many states. Above the eagle's head is the 13th star, new constellation of the 1777 flag, enclosed in the glory or a golden radiant breaking through a cloud. That's the sun again represented. The reverse, the backside of the bill, I'm about to take it home, of the seal, it contains a pyramid of what? 13 steps, of course. Yep. Stones, which represent what? The Union, and it has the date of 1776 written in Roman numerals. You got Egypt, you got Rome, you got Greece, you got America, you got everybody in there. Okay? Everybody's symbols. That's what everybody gets under that. But within the Roman numerals on the base, can't stand them. Above the pyramid is the Eye of Providence, which enclosed in the pyramid the motto Anuet Coeptus, meaning He, God, has favored our undertaking. That's how they break it down. Is written above the pyramid, and the words at the bottom, Novus Ordo Seclorum, that means, I told you before, the new order of the ages, or might be known as the New World Order, which began in, you know when? 1776. It's been a long time. So where we at now, this been all leading up to where we are now. This is all pretty much predicted, planned, and laid out before we even got here, okay? Now, my man, Manly P. Hall, the king of Masonic law, he noted an expert on Masonic, the noted expert on Masonic law, my man, has described the reverse of the great seal of the signature of the exalted body of men who helped what establish the United States for a particular and a particular purpose, known only to who? The initiated few. Hall revered to the unfinished pyramid as what? A trestle board setting forth symbolically the task to what? The accomplishment of which the U.S. government was dictated from the day of its inception. Meaning what? Take over, control, manipulate. That's what the government is doing right now. And let's talk about the pyramid, which wrapping it up. Okay, the pyramid and the eye above it, which represents the eye of Haru, the Son of God, clearly established what an Egyptian link with the reverse of the Great Seal. The obverse of this seal is strictly similar to the Nile Valley image of Haru, and the difference represents the cultural nuances which were unique to the United States. But above the eagle's head are 13 stars, which are arranged in the form of what? Magen David, which is also called the Star of Solomon. Okay, the Ring of Solomon with the male and the female triangle together, they call it the Star of Solomon. Okay, but it says this is an ancient symbol that predates Judaism and represents two pyramids. The two pyramids symbolizes the two pillars of Solomon, strength and beauty, which plays a significant role in ritualistic masonry symbology. They have been described by one Mason, the historian Dr. John Weiss, in his 1880 publication, The Obelisk and Freemasonry, as what? An initiation of two obelisks at the entrance of Egyptian temples, as the two towers at the Golgotha cathedrals, and you got the two steeples on all the churches. That's all symbolism right here. I'm sitting between them. I'm a Mason. I know the signs too. Okay, I'm trying to show them out to you. But laying it down for you in plain sight. You never know. Oh, you got two pictures. They ain't no. They signify. It's personal. There's a symbolism behind that. Okay. Even the reputation of the number 13 of the Great Seal. You know what that number signifies for all y'all? It's a jinx bad that number. You misinterpret it big time. Your 12 cranial nerves in the brain. And you being you, you're the Christ. They're the 12 helpers. They're disciples. Okay? That's the zodiac. Learn the zodiac. Learn more about yourself. But it was significant, symbolic, of importance to the founding fathers. Joseph Campbell, the great storyteller, the author of The Power of Myth, told the best stories, committed on its meaning in the interview with my boy Bill Moyer. Campbell stated, the number 13 is the number of transformation. Christ is transformed to know himself. He knew God and him was one. And rebirth. You're born again spiritually, not physically. And the Last Supper, there were what? 12 apostles and one Christ. 13. Who was what? He was going to die and be what? Reborn. The ego death is the physical, egoistic concept that you can kill and come back reborn again in the higher conscious state. It's called waking up. And 13 is the number of going out of the field, of the bounds of the 12 into what they call transcendent. These men were very conscious of the number 13 as the number of resurrection and rebirth and new life, and they played it up all the way through to this day. They still got the understanding. They still putting it out there. I'm going to stop right there. Woo, 25 minutes. I got some more. I'm just going now. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'm enjoying giving it to you. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. There are 11 of my right thinkers who wrote about the Constitution and the now-body origins of the Great Seal of the United States have passed away. I'll be right back with more for you.